pretty good. 100%. Yeah, that's not shabby at all. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the all-new Audi E-Tron Sportback. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the strong Audi here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this E-Tron Sportback. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you guys can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Mike or Landon. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Let's start off with some performance specs. So we have a 95 kilowatt hour battery pack. We have a dual electric motor setup, so we have all-wheel drive, 225 miles of electric driving range, 355 horsepower, 414 pound-feet of torque. But there is a boost mode, and this will give us 402 horsepower and then 490 pound-feet of torque for 8 seconds, which is pretty cool. There you go. Well, I guess I could have done a normal under the hood shot considering the fact that this doesn't have any under the hood storage, so yeah. Anyways, other than me making a silly video mistake here, you guys can see everything that's under there, so Now going over the front end of the E-Tron, it just looks pretty much like any other Audi SUV. You guys can see we've got a bunch of Q5s over here, and I mean, it fits right in. We've got Audi's signature daytime running lights here with the LED headlamps. And then you guys can see the grille, again, normal Audi grille. Obviously, most of it's closed off because this is fully electric. Notice we have our S-Line badge there. And then, of course, the Audi logo with the camera at the bottom. And then it says E-Tron here at the bottom. Parking sensors all on the front. And so I'm going to mention is the naming with this is kind of confusing because you obviously have the E-Tron GT, which is like their sedan, right? And then you have the new Q4 E-Tron, which is a smaller SUV, and then you have this, which is just the E-Tron. So yeah, lots of E-Trons within Audi's lineup now. Coming on the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 255, 50, 20 in the front and in the rear. Sorry about my shadow right there. But anyways, you guys can see here with the design on the wheels, you got the silver there on the top and then the metallic gray on the center portion. And we're finally seeing EVs like this that have wheels that, you know, obviously serve some aerodynamic purposes with the car, but then also just frankly look really good. We've got the body painted fender flares. Notice we have the E-Tron logo here, and you actually press this button and the charge port pops out. We've got it on both sides, so passenger and driver, so you don't have to worry about what side you pull up on for charging. And then notice the silver trim there around the windows. And now you guys can see that Sportback design. It looks pretty dang sweet. So here's our key fob. We have our lock function, the opening here for the hatch, and then the unlock with the Audi logo, and then E-Tron there on the back. So I'll press this a couple times and it'll pop open the trunk area. So you guys can see we've got the cargo cover already built, and the other half is actually on top of the hatch itself. And storage space back here is actually really solid. I mean, we've got all of this stuff back here that's was on the outside of the car, but it fits. That's all you guys need to know. Underneath, look at the storage space down there. We also have a spare tire, which is pretty cool. So yeah, really practical, despite the fact that, again, it has the Sportback design, which typically takes away some storage space. Anyways, press that and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear. First off, we have Audi's cool sequential lights here in the back, and you guys can see a little spoiler here. And yes, we've got that Sportback design, so notice how it just like flows here in the rear. And of course, it's got a light bar because every electric car has to apparently. Audi logo, you got E-Tron and then Quattro badge there. Parking sensors on the rear. And let me know what you guys think about the styling, if you prefer this or if you prefer the regular, you know, kind of Audi SUV styling in the back. So here is the door panel in the rear. You guys can see here with this little trim piece that goes across, it looks like it has ambient lighting inside of it. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but it kind of looks like that would hold that. Anyways, we've got our leather trim here with the stitching down below, and then we have that little like plaque there. And then here are the seats. Again, really nice stitching. Notice perforated all down the center portion. And we'll actually pop in here. Whew. There's legroom. Then you guys can see headroom as well. We've got some vents here. It looks like I have to turn on the E-Tron so I can show you guys the climate control screen. And then we've got some USB ports there with the 12 volt down below. And we have a little storage space here, cup holder, armrest situation. So yeah, nice area in the back. Let's look at this and then we'll head to the front. So here's the screen while it's on. You guys can see we've got the two different climate zones here in the rear, and we have heated seats for the rear as well. So just a nice bit of added practicality. So don't mind the shipping cardboard that is on this, but anyways, you guys can see with the door panel again, look at the trim piece here and then the padding down below. We've got all of our window controls here. I like the finish on the window controls. Mirror adjustments as well, and then here's a quick look at the mirrors themselves, and I love the handle here. Pretty cool looking. And then door lock and unlock right there. Memory seats just off to the side, and then notice it says S right there. And well, yes, we've got the covers over the front seats, but they're identical to the seats in the rear, just have slightly more aggressive bolsters right here. And you guys can see with the leather trim down below. Got all of our power adjustments here on the side. And then you guys can see with the pedal layout just down below. And then our light controls right there. And let's pop in. So here's the steering wheel with the E-Tron. We got really nice leather trim all around, and then you guys can see the contrast of stitching there on the center portion. Got our paddle shifters here on the back. We'll use those during the driving portion. Some controls for the center stack, voice command, volume controls on the other side, and then we have like a turn signal stock, cruise control stock, windshield wiper stock, lots of stocks, but there's the steering wheel. So here's our gauge cluster, and it's pretty straightforward. You can see how fast you're going. You guys can see how many miles are on the car. You can see how much range you have left, 42 miles in this case. And then you can see if you're charging or if you're using the power. And this does have Audi's normal virtual cockpit setup. So if I pop over to the navigation and then change the view, you can do like the big nav screen thing. So yeah, overall, great center gauge cluster. Now here's the infotainment screen. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines, and notice the camera turns, which is pretty cool, and the trajectory lines as well. This has the 3D camera view as well. So we can see like this full 3D view of the E-Tron. It's so weird to say E-Tron because there's so many different E-Trons. But you guys can see the rest of the different camera views as well. So really solid from a camera perspective. I'm gonna pop it back into park. Now you guys probably noticed you have to kind of click with some of the buttons here because it's got like that haptic feedback setting. But notice I can just swipe like normal with this particular thing. Now if we go to the vehicle tab, notice you got your charging, so you can see that whole setup right there. And then with our drive mode as well. So there's actually quite a few drive modes. You've got efficiency, right, pretty straightforward, comfort, auto, dynamic, and then individual, and obviously you can change individual. And notice with the suspension, you can adjust it on this section as well. You can raise or lower it. And pretty normal with the seats. But overall, good infotainment system, pretty easy to use. You just have to get used to having to actually click. Now down below, this is our secondary screen. This is for like the climate controls basically. So you can see we've got a dual zone here for the front, heated and cooled seats for the front. But we do have some different features here at the top for like the charging, and then you guys can see with like the hill descent control, for example. Drive mode select buttons here, stability control, and then stuff for the climate, and then obviously the hazard lights. And then this right here is just a shortcut here for the driver assistance. So you just press that to go into that tab. Volume control, again, parking sensors, and then that's just to turn on or off the E-Tron. This is the weirdest part of this car. So you have this, which I guess is supposed to be a wrist rest for this screen, but you think that the shifter would be attached to this because like you see the things in there, but it's not. You've got the parking brake here. The shifter's this thing. So like reverse, drive, and then push that button in for park. It's different. I don't know how to feel about it yet, but you know, it's definitely different, and that's what EVs are all about, right? And then you can see the storage space in here. And I think it's like kind of nifty actually, that storage space thing. Got a 12 volt right there, and wireless phone charging pad also. Wow. Center console, pretty normal, and then there's also more USB ports. Lots of charging ports in here. Definitely practical. Pretty normal glove box. And then look at the dash. Really cool. And then nice padding and stitching here, and then E-Tron logo. And last but not least, we do have a panoramic sunroof here. And at the top, you got the controls for the sunroof right here and the sunshade, and well, there you go. So here's our window sticker for this E-Tron Sportback. First off, you guys can see here with the standard equipment, and I love how it says active liquid cooling for the battery. But anyways, look at the warranty: 4-year 50,000 mile on the new vehicle warranty, and then 8-year 100,000 mile on the high voltage battery. So just so you guys know on that. $74,000 is the base MSRP. Now this has the Premium Plus package added to it. And then after all options, $82,790 is the total MSRP. Let's see how this drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So setting off here in the E-Tron, just the regular E-Tron. I know there's too many E-Trons right now. But first off, this thing's so smooth from a ride quality perspective. And that's one of the big benefits of Audi's air suspension system, right? Is it just definitely makes things really, really comfortable with the ride quality. And it's really quiet. And I'm interested to see, okay, so if I press the minus paddle, it does more aggressive with the regen. So it's kind of closer to like one pedal driving, basically. And then once I get up here, I'll kind of press the plus paddle. So the plus paddle gets rid of that. So if you want more regenerative braking, then do minus paddle. If you want less, then do the plus paddle. But overall, I love how this drives. Really quiet. It's very comfortable. I will say, I know this is quite a bit more expensive than the Q4 e-tron. This is a lot more comfortable though. Like just having the slightly larger vehicle helps out with ride comfort quite substantially. I don't know why this person stopped. Okay. It's because they're driving a Hyundai. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be mean to Hyundai drivers, but seriously, like the green light and they're stopped as if it's a stop sign, and then they're slowly rolling forward. That would have, you know what, in rush hour traffic, that would have definitely been an accident. Someone would have rear-ended them, that's for sure. But, and they almost just hit that guy with that dog. The things we capture on Ben Hardy POV drives. Hyundai drivers, menace to society. I'm just kidding. Man, I'm getting a little carried away with this. But that's actually, so let's click this away. Okay, yes, I understand, Audi. Let's actually change the drive mode. So, oh, we have an off-road mode too. Off-road, all-road. I missed like half the drive modes during the walk-around. I feel like a dummy. So we'll pop it into the dynamic mode now. So this will be the hardcore acceleration mode. But overall, like the biggest takeaway I want you guys to get from this review is this is a really like comfortable electric vehicle. Like they've done a really good job with the whole suspension setup and just making this vehicle really daily drivable. Yeah, that one pedal drive definitely, doing the minus paddle helps out the regen quite substantially. Crazy fast. I mean, you guys heard the power figures, but I mean, pretty good. 100%. Yeah, that's not shabby at all. So you got your D and your S mode. Huh. S is usually, okay, wow, that punched pretty hard. I'm gonna say S is usually the more aggressive setting with Audis. So we're gonna try that. Oh! Yeah, put in S mode and that thing, and this punches even harder. So overall, with the e-tron, I think this is a great luxury EV. I know a lot of people are probably gonna want Tesla Model Y comparisons because this is similar price. So not as quick as like the Model Y performance. So I guess if you want, I guess that's, you know, if you want a little more acceleration, that's gonna provide that. And, you know, from a range perspective, I've noticed that I feel like there is like some sort of conspiracy against legacy automakers with range, because like all the EPA ratings with range for legacy automakers are really low compared to what the real world is. Like this says 225, but then I'll see like a real world test and it'll be like 280. And it's like, wait, why is the EPA off so much with everyone except for Tesla? Something's happening in there. That's my tinfoil hat idea of the day. Camera system's really good. But anyways, drives exceptionally well. I definitely think this interior is a lot more special than Tesla. Fit and finish is a lot better. Ride quality is a lot better. So the only thing that the Model Y has over this is potentially range. I don't know what the real world range is on this though. So potentially range, and then acceleration. That's for sure though, I can tell you that. So let me know what you guys think about the E-Tron Sportback. That's gonna sum things up with our video on the new Audi E-Tron Sportback. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the strong Audi here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this vehicle. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Ask for Mike or Landon if you have any questions. I'll see you.